It's interesting to me that the parents, Duncan, Lady Macbeth, they're not permitted to survive. I feel bad because I'm giving spoilers, but, on the other hand, it's 500 years old. Welcome to Behind the Bard. I'm Sara Wolf, Artistic Director for Shakespeare Royal Oak, sometime actor, sometime director, and I'm talking with Jeff Nahan.
Hi, Sara.
Hi, who is directing our SRO production of Macbeth.
The 25th anniversary.
That's right. And
Amazing.
The second time we've done this on main stage, the kids did a version of it.
Did they really?
A long time ago, yeah.
When did you direct your production of the Scottish play?
I did it in 2009.
Well, we're venturing back into that mysterious, witchified play of evil and ambition.
That's actually something that I'd love to talk about, because the thing that I kind of find interesting about this play is the whole supernatural influence and free will, right? It's
Right.
It's inherent in the human condition, right? How much is predestined for us that we have to play out on our individual stages, and how much of it is we decide. An interesting moment that happened last night, and I don't think it's too much of a giveaway to say that Macduff and Macbeth have a big fight. But in rehearsal last night, I noticed a really interesting moment. And it was when Macduff says, "I was from my mother's womb untimely ripped." Now, it seems like Macbeth is the superior warrior throughout this whole play. Yet in that moment, he is completely taken aback. Spoiler alert, look away, avert your eye if you don't want to know, but you should have read it. Did Macbeth lose because he was spooked by what Macduff said? Or was he destined to lose?
I think he was spooked. I think he was spooked because of the prophecy of the apparition, which the apparition reinforced what the witches said at the very beginning. Mm-hmm. He's given up. He sat down on that stump on the stage. That choice and he kind of throws his hands up, but he's totally egged on by Macduff. No, you got to keep coming at me.
Right.
Otherwise, you have to stand down. And he's not willing to do that. I think that's pride.
So do you think, because obviously the characters in our play do believe in the supernatural. We all get a little spooked at some point or another, right? We all witness something that seems not
something
of this world, right?
Right.
Some intercessors of that other side of the veil do talk to some of the characters, the witches do.
Right.
So that supernatural influence, how do you feel that the play kind of represents those ideas of the power of the supernatural, or is it just the power of the suggestion of the supernatural, and that our own minds lead us to do these things? Because really, it could have all been done if, early on, Macbeth doesn't decide to enact that prophecy. He makes it real.
He makes it real for himself because I think the ethos of this nethered time we've called steampunk, which really is a style of clothing, I suppose, or being, or a way of looking at the world in a post-industrial way, that conflict between man-made and spirit-made, and the duality of what the Scottish king says in so many of his monologues, his soliloquies, is that duality between the dark and the day, the this and the that. I think we've brought the spirits in this production a little bit more viscerally present by using the witches in the sense of the appearance of a dagger, the appearance of an apparition, and I think in some way they infect Lady Macbeth. It's almost like Lady Macbeth is almost being brought into the covenant in some new way by having to do
Sure, she has
these
an
deeds.
incantation.
She does that
Speech.
incantation where, take my milk for gall. I think also the lovely contrast of our cast. We have, first of all, an amazing cast of very talented people. Yourself included, playing Ross, and that each person is so defined and telling the story so well that I'm so confident that people will come to see it and understand this Shakespeare. So often people say, I didn't get that. Well, I'm pretty darn tootin' that this one's going to be one of the understandable ones.
Cool. And you did bring up the steampunk concept. Can you explain a little more? You said that it is like this industrial, kind of Victorian adjacent, but it's not a real historical time period. It's something adjacent, like an adjacent timeline, isn't it?
It's taking the idea of the post-industrial revolution into how did it affect how people dressed, how people acted, how did they see themselves in the universe? Because all of a sudden now it wasn't just agrarian, it was machine-based, and all of a sudden they start to look at themselves, and in this play, they're at war with this unruly usurper, as he is called at the end of the play.
And also with themselves, right? Because it does tie in so much with we're not relying on nature and God or the gods, however you want to look at it. We're enacting things and we're becoming our own gods. And that's where our characters in this play get in loads of trouble.
Yeah. And when they come and they forge themselves together to overcome this Macbeth, you see that in their community building, in those scenes, in and out. So, yeah,
And that moral, like everybody, there's two wars that happen, right? One against Norway at the top, and we're all celebrating because we win, right?
That's right.
And then we're back out, it's bookended by wars, and it becomes a civil war where you have a rebellion against the Scottish king.
That's right.
But it is a moral test for everyone. Certainly for Macbeth, who has to decide to do these things. Certainly for Lady M, who has to decide to push him to do those things.
Right.
But it's also a moral test that Malcolm actually gives to Macduff.
That's right.
In the middle of the play, and we're all the Thanes. Everybody has to take a side. There is no neutrality in this world. You're punished if you do.
Right. The connection between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, that relationship, is so complicated that the mixing of ambition and love, and who wants it more, and who all of a sudden gets scared of it. I see the way these two are playing it, and I'm seeing them kind of share that back and forth. When she feels strong, he feels weak. When he feels strong, she starts to question where it maybe has gotten away from her, that maybe she pushed too hard.
Well, it's be careful what you ask for,
right.
because you might get it.
And she says, leave all the rest to me. We'll
There's
see how
also,
that turns out.
Yeah, there's also those themes of fathers and sons. What is left, what is the inheritance going forward, that I also think is really interesting. Most of the parents in the play are killed. I feel bad because I'm giving spoilers, but on the other hand, it's 500 years old. You should have read it. It's interesting to me that the parents, Duncan, Lady Macbeth, they're not permitted to survive. And you don't know,
Right.
unless you've read the play, that Macduff does survive.
Right.
And the fact that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth have no children,
Right.
no living children.
That's right. That's right.
It's interesting to see that. And also the questions of, like, in this world that we've built, we have a king that has appointed their son to be the next ruler, which appears to be out of the ordinary for the world of this play. It's unexpected
right.
that would happen.
Right.
And it's the first hint or inkling of things being left to sons or children, we should say,
Right.
children.
Right.
They just happen to be sons
Right.
in this play with Malcolm, with the
Lineage.
seed of Banquo to come.
And all the issues of lineage and who will ascend and who won't ascend. And the witches make it very clear in that opening scene with Banquo and Macbeth who's going to be king.
Right.
But you're not going to be king, but your heirs may be. And that
Who
sets
is meant to go on and who is meant to stop.
Right.
And it's interesting, something that's really not explained in the play at all. But, I wish we had some of the witches here because it'd be a great question for them. Why do they take this to Macbeth? Why do they decide to egg him on? To what end? Like, I want to know their actor secrets. Now I have something to ask them in a half hour.
Right. Right. Well, I think somehow it goes back to the fates. What is the fate of Macbeth? Are the circumstances of his upbringing and his ascension as a thane just too rich a thing for the witches to want to play with?
Or maybe
Because-
it's using that hubris against him. Maybe
Yes.
they see, because at the beginning, he's already doing quite well for
He is,
himself. He's a
yes.
thane.
Yeah.
He's awarded a promotion by the king. And then
is
apparently
favored.
the next night he kills said king.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right.
He already has so much. What he doesn't have is a future beyond him,
Right.
which I think is interesting. And what I guess maybe perhaps it'll be something for them to talk about tomorrow, is do they use that greatness as their own thing that they come together to create? To have something lasting, something
Right.
that matters, something that means something, because they already have so much and are, I don't know, living hungry ghosts maybe? I don't know. It would be a good question for them.
They certainly are painting a portrait of infamy
Well,
in a big sense.